Something strange is happening right now, and most people can feel it but cannot name it. The old rules are failing quietly. The hustle advice sounds hollow. The motivation quotes feel tired. The strategies that used to work are producing anxiety instead of results. This is not burnout. This is not laziness. This is not you falling behind. This is the moment your life is asking for a quiet reset. And this reset only works now. You wake up and reach for your phone before your thoughts fully form. Your mind already feels tired before the day begins. You scroll through success stories that feel both inspiring and exhausting. Everyone seems to be winning loudly while you are fighting silently. Even when you are productive, it feels like you are running on borrowed energy. Something inside you knows that continuing this way will cost you more than it gives you. But slowing down feels dangerous in a world that rewards speed. So you keep going, telling yourself you will rest later, but later never arrives. This is the trap of the modern world. Not failure, but constant motion without direction. Not weakness, but noise without clarity. Right now, especially at this time of year when everything feels reflective and rushed at the same time, more people than ever are sensing that something must change. Not dramatically, not publicly, but quietly. The quiet reset is not about quitting your job, disappearing to the mountains, or announcing a new chapter on social media. Those are loud resets, and they rarely last. This is about recalibrating how you think, how you decide, how you consume information, and how you measure success, in a way that aligns with the world as it actually is now, not how it used to be. The reason this only works now is because the environment has changed. Attention has become the most exploited resource on the planet. Algorithms are designed to keep you stimulated, outraged, comparing, and scrolling. Productivity culture has blurred the line between ambition and self-harm. Economic pressure has made people feel like they must always be doing more just to stay afloat. In this environment, doing what everyone else is doing guarantees exhaustion, not excellence. The quiet reset begins with a realization that feels uncomfortable at first. The problem is not that you are not doing enough. The problem is that you are doing too much of the wrong things, responding to too many demands that were never designed with your long-term well-being in mind. Think about how often you switch tasks in a single hour: messages, notifications, news alerts, videos, emails. Each one fragments your focus. Behavioral science shows that every switch carries a cognitive cost, draining mental energy even when the task seems small. Over time, this creates decision fatigue, emotional numbness, and a constant low-level anxiety that feels like background noise. You are not anxious because your life is bad. You are anxious because your attention is under siege. The quiet reset starts when you stop treating your attention like an unlimited resource and start treating it like capital, something to invest deliberately, not spend impulsively. This means fewer inputs, fewer opinions, fewer sources of urgency, not because you do not care, but because clarity requires space. There is a story repeating quietly across cities and countries. Someone in their late 20s or 30s doing everything they were told to do, educated, hardworking, ambitious, yet feeling strangely disconnected from their own life. They are not unhappy in a dramatic way, but they are not fulfilled either. Their days blur together. Weekends feel shorter. Achievements feel fleeting. This is not a personal failure. This is the predictable outcome of a system that rewards visibility over depth and speed over wisdom. The quiet reset asks a different question. Not how can I do more, but what actually matters now. Not in theory, but in practice. Not someday, but today. Financial psychology teaches us that wealth is not just income. It is optionality, the ability to choose without panic. Yet many people chase higher income while sacrificing the clarity that would allow them to use it well. They upgrade their lifestyle faster than their self-awareness, then wonder why more money did not bring peace. The quiet reset reframes success as sustainability. Can you live in a way that does not require constant recovery? There is power in doing less, but only if the less is intentional. This is where many people get it wrong. They slow down without direction and call it healing, but avoidance is not rest, and comfort is not alignment. The quiet reset is active, not passive. It requires ruthless honesty about what drains you and what strengthens you. Notice how certain conversations leave you feeling heavy, while others leave you energized. Notice how some goals feel exciting, while others feel like obligations inherited from someone else's expectations. This awareness is not accidental, it is data. One of the most radical aspects of the quiet reset is redefining urgency. Modern life trains you to treat everything as urgent. Every email, every message, every trend. But urgency is a psychological lever, not a moral truth. When everything is urgent, nothing is important. The nervous system cannot tell the difference between a real threat and a perceived one, so it stays activated. Over time, this erodes creativity, empathy, and long-term thinking. The quiet reset teaches you to pause before responding, to ask, does this actually require my immediate attention, or am I being pulled into someone else's anxiety? This pause is where power returns. There is also a financial dimension to this reset that rarely gets discussed. Impulse is expensive, not just in money, but in time and energy. The more overstimulated you are, the more likely you are to make short-term decisions that feel good now but cost you later. Subscriptions you do not use, purchases that promise identity, investments made out of fear of missing out. The quiet reset creates distance between impulse and action, allowing better decisions to emerge naturally. Think about the last time you made a decision that truly improved your life. It probably did not happen in a rush. It happened after reflection, after discomfort, after sitting with uncertainty long enough for clarity to form. This is why silence is such a powerful tool. Not the absence of sound, but the absence of unnecessary input. Silence allows your internal compass to recalibrate, something many people have not experienced in years. Social dynamics change when you undergo a quiet reset. You may find that certain relationships fade, not because of conflict, but because they were built around shared distraction rather than shared values. This can feel lonely at first, especially during seasons that emphasize connection and togetherness. But it is also liberating. You begin to attract connections that resonate with who you are becoming, not who you were performing as. The world currently rewards extremes, loud opinions, instant reactions, dramatic transformations. But real growth is often subtle, almost invisible at first, like roots strengthening underground before a tree grows taller. The quiet reset trusts this process. There is a reason so many people feel stuck despite having more tools, information, and opportunities than any generation before them. Information abundance without wisdom creates paralysis. The quiet reset filters noise into signal, helping you focus on principles rather than trends. One principle that matters deeply now is pacing, not slowing down indiscriminately, but aligning speed with purpose, sprinting when it matters, resting when it does not. Most people either sprint constantly or stop completely. Both lead to burnout. Sustainable progress lives in rhythm. Another principle is identity. Many people are exhausted not because of what they do, but because of who they think they have to be while doing it. The achiever, the helper, the strong one, the reliable one. These identities can become cages. The quiet reset invites you to ask, who am I when no one is watching? And what would I choose if approval were removed from the equation? This question can be unsettling, but it is also freeing. The timing of this reset matters because the external world is becoming more volatile. Economic uncertainty, rapid technological change, shifting social norms, all of these increase cognitive load. In unstable environments, rigid strategies fail. Adaptive ones thrive. The quiet reset increases adaptability by strengthening internal alignment. When you know what matters to you, external changes become navigable rather than overwhelming. There is a moment many people experience during this process, often late at night or early in the morning, when the year feels like it is closing in on itself, when they realize they have been living reactively, responding to demands rather than designing their days. This realization is not dramatic, but it is profound. It feels like a subtle sadness mixed with relief. Sadness for time spent disconnected, relief that awareness has arrived. From here, small changes begin to compound. Fewer commitments, clearer boundaries, deeper focus, intentional rest. These are not productivity hacks. They are life design choices. The quiet reset also challenges the idea that success must be visible to be valid. Many of the most powerful shifts happen internally. Improved emotional regulation, clearer thinking, a calmer nervous system. These do not get likes, but they change everything. When your internal state stabilizes, your external results follow naturally. Behavioral science supports this. Emotions drive behavior more than logic. When you feel safe and grounded, you make better decisions, take smarter risks, and persist longer. The reset requires patience. Not the passive kind, but the disciplined kind. Patience with yourself as old habits surface, patience with others as dynamics shift, patience with the process as results emerge gradually. This patience is rare in a culture of instant feedback, which is why it is valuable. There will be moments when you doubt this path, when doing less feels irresponsible, when stepping back feels like falling behind. But remember, momentum without direction leads nowhere, and clarity without noise creates leverage. The quiet reset is not an escape from reality. It is a deeper engagement with it, seeing things as they are, rather than as they are advertised to be. As you continue, you may notice that your tolerance for superficiality decreases. You crave depth in conversations, meaning in work, presence in relationships. This is not pretentiousness. It is alignment. The reset does not make life easy, but it makes it coherent. Your actions begin to match your values. Your goals align with your capacity. Your pace supports your health. This coherence is what many people mistake for confidence. It is not loud, but it is steady. The most important part of the quiet reset is understanding that it is not a one-time event. It is a practice, a series of choices made daily to protect attention, to honor limits, to pursue depth over noise. This practice only works now because now is when the old way is collapsing under its own weight. The world does not need you louder, faster, or more visible. It needs you clear, grounded, and intentional. If you feel like something inside you has been asking for space, if you feel tired of running without knowing why, if you sense that there is a better way to live that does not require constant proving, this is your signal, not to quit, but to reset quietly, deliberately, and fully.